Can you say hi, little fish? Hi. Hey everyone, I'm Soda, and today I am 4 weeks postpartum. I'm having this little one right here, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about how my fun recovery has been. It's been an interesting journey. I hope I don't scare anyone because it was a little bit harder than most people's recovery, but not as bad as others. And the recovery is something that I've actually been really nervous about my whole pregnancy because I just know I always have a really hard time recovering. So yeah, this is my story. If you saw her birth story, you know that she had to be vacuumed out of there. Isn't that right? And so because of that, there was lots and lots of tearing. So that was no fun. Going to the bathroom was awful. It was really not fun. So I was in pain from the stitches, or the tears, I should say. And then breastfeeding was also quite painful for me in the beginning, before I gave up on it. And then, yeah, just being so tired and sleep deprived. It was really tough. I was in the hospital for 2 days because little fish's temperature was a little low, so they had to stay, and they're also worried with how much pain I was in, but finally sent me home. And then on the way home, we had to go down this road that was pretty bumpy, and I felt like at least one of my stitches break open, and that was awful. And then I went to the bathroom, and I felt more stitches break. And so by, I think it was 5 days postpartum, I was in so much pain. Are you hungry? So they wanted me to go in. The doctor's office that was close to me didn't have anyone available that day, so I had to go all the way to the hospital, which is about half an hour away. And got there actually very late because I was confused on where to go. And so then I had to wait even longer for her to have a little bit of time to this other doctor that I've never worked with before to have some time to check out why I was in so much pain. And she's like, yeah, like half your stitches are broken, so we need to fix this. And I'm like, okay, so are you gonna like numb it up for when you do the stitches or what? And she's like, no, we gotta do like full on putting you to sleep, and we need to do this tonight. So that was like 5:30, and she's like, can you come back at like 10, 9 or 10? And I'm like, okay. And then as soon as we got home, she's like, actually, we need to come back like in half an hour. It's half an hour away. So we got back, and then we had to leave right again. And I was an absolute mess. Not only was I just in so much pain, but my hormones were all over the place, making me super emotional. And I was so, like, we just finished breastfeeding and moved to formula and pumping. But I hadn't really been able to pump yet because I kept having to go to the doctors and all these things. So I was like super engorged and in a lot of pain. And then I had to go to the surgery and be without my husband and my little baby because it was pretty late and you needed to go to bed, huh? So I was all by myself, and I was such a mess. I was just crying and panicking, and it was not good. When they put the mask on for the oxygen or the drugs or whatever the mask does, I don't even know. Like, I almost had a full-on panic attack. Like, I keep having memories of that, and I'm nervous that it's gonna cause like PTSD. But and then when I woke up, I was just in so much pain because they didn't want to give me a bunch of narcotics because of the constipation and stuff that I was dealing with. So yeah, it was so bad. I just woke up just feeling all the pain. And then that night I just felt absolutely miserable and alone. If you saw my quick update video, you'll see how much of a mess I was in. And what made it even harder is that they had to put the oxygen tube down my throat, and so every time I coughed, I constantly was needing to cough, and cough drops didn't really help much because it was like the lower part of my throat. And yeah, every time I coughed, I was just in so much pain, because it felt like my stitches were tearing open every time I would cough or sneeze or laugh. Not that I was really laughing. It was just a very dark night. Probably one of the hardest nights of my life. It just felt just this really deep depression that came over me. And I listened to some guided meditation that helped me get through. And then the next day, my husband was able to come back with Banoi, and technically I think we weren't supposed to bring her because they were starting to do the like no visitors rule, but they kind of let it slide because they're like, well, technically we don't have to super enforce it till tomorrow, and you're already a patient, so I had to stay until the next day because they wanted me to stay until I was able to go to the bathroom because I was having some stomach issues. They gave me all these like fiber things and crazy stuff to help me go to the bathroom, and I still couldn't. But I finally did the next day. So that was week 1. And yeah, it was not fun. And there's a lot of these pads, these like ice pad things that were pretty great. It was funny. I feel like I was making like a sandwich when I'd had these like pads, and then I'd do liquid witch hazel stuff, and then these witch hazel pads, like these little circle things that I would put on, kind of like salami or something, and this foam stuff, all sorts of nice little things to help heal down there. And yeah, I would definitely say my I don't know if it's postpartum depression or baby blues or just my situational depression that comes all the time, but it's really not fun. I felt a lot of guilt every time I wanted to pick up baby, but I was just like in too much pain to pick her up. I felt so guilty, and I would have to wait for my husband to pick her up, and I'm just like, I just want to pick up my baby, and I felt so guilty. And then she was having a lot of indigestion. We found out later it's because she needs to be on soy formula. What's the matter, baby? She just ate. She's struggling a little bit. But finally, by week 3, I was feeling somewhat okay. I was able to start going on walks. able to pick her up just fine. I did still feel a lot of discomfort, but it wasn't like excruciating pain. I didn't need any pain medications anymore, except every once in a while. It's interesting. It's like one day I will feel fine and there will be no bleeding and I won't need any pain medications and I can walk around just fine. And other days I'm just in so much pain, like especially when just sitting down going to the bathroom for some reason is so painful for me. I've been having to be on a very high fiber diet to help my digestive system, and I also am not able to be on iron pills right now because those make you really constipated, but I'm also super anemic because I lost a lot of blood. I had both the delivery, which lost a lot of blood there, but then there was also the surgery where I lost more blood, and I was already anemic. So yeah, I've just been really, really tired. But it's all worth it for you, little fish. I love you so much.